Well, welcome everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started. I am Portia Mount, Chief Marketing Officer, and I have to say, I just have to share this. I'm very excited because I'm here in person with two amazing colleagues, Angela Lair, Chief of Staff, and Saba Najad, this is your day two, our new Chief of Sales Officer. And I'm just super excited. And we are doing some work off site. So we look like we're kind of like a firing squad, but we're not. We're just here. We want to make sure that you can all see us. A couple of housekeeping rules. For those of you who joined us before, and by the way, I want to also share, this is our third gathering. It's our second town hall meeting. And thanks to those of you who had a quarterly town hall meeting, thanks to those of you who joined the community survey debriefing earlier this month. Same rules apply. We are recording. And so after this session, we will send out a link to the recording and along with FAQ. So regarding questions, thanks to those of you who have sent in questions in advance. We've got some real good ones, and I know my leadership team colleagues are raring to answer them. Also, please use the chat to put your questions in. And again, same rules apply. If we are not able to get to answer your question, we will answer it in writing. Okay, so and then share that out. So welcome, really great to have you here. And Doug, I'm going to hand it over to you to kick us off. Doug Hanson, CEO.
Thanks, Portia. Guys, I never have a slide here. We were talking about it beforehand. I just like to kind of little off the cuff, just keep it a little more relaxed. And I want you to focus on some of the things I'm going to say here today. But guys, welcome. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Topcoder Town Hall. As Portia said, we have a great agenda planned today. A lot of exciting updates. I'll just give a few notes, and then I'll pass it on the team to talk about some of those updates. The theme you're going to continue to hear from me in these town halls, and probably over the next year, is really around transformation. Right? We ultimately want to solve the most complex problems for organizations. And to do that, we need to build a company that can scale at solving complex problems. And that starts with getting back to our roots around challenges. You know, as I've said in the past, we sort of washed our way a little bit with when we over-indexed on some of the gig placement. Not that was a bad thing, gigs, because I think gigs are a really important part about getting work done and helping organizations. But when we think about solving really complex problems and for organizations, the challenge model is ultimately the best mechanism in which to solve that. And so we need to make sure that we refocus in that area. And so, like I said, that means we need to transform. That means we need to market differently. We need to interact with our community differently, the community differently, and more. Right? Portia talked about how we're going to continue to have these check-ins and make sure you know what we're doing, what we're up to, and that we're making progress. We need to sell differently. Right. We have a new leader here that was just introduced. We need to build our internal operations that align with these transformation goals, because we need to scale. We need to make sure that, we can execute efficiently internally and externally with the community. And then we need to build the products that align with this vision, and the list goes on. So there's a lot of work to do, guys. There's a lot that we need to do, but I'm excited. I'm really excited. I'm always excited, but I'm really excited because we have a plan. We got the right plan now, and we've got the right team to execute it. And we got to that plan because we did our homework and we took your input. So you heard me say it last time, but thanks again for the survey feedback, guys. It was really helpful to understand. And to be honest, we were really surprised how much feedback we got and the detail of feedback we got. It was invaluable to us. So it really helped to guide us. So your feedback, and we did some other market research. I think Portia talked about that last time too, that allowed us to build that proper roadmap, right? That's going to allow us to transform the way that we need to ultimately. And so the team's going to cover some of those updates today. But at the end of the day, we realize that we have a great story to tell, and you're a major part of it. And so we're gonna start sharing more of those stories and about how how you're impacting companies and how you're helping to solve some of these complex problems. So don't be surprised if you get contacted by one of our marketing team members to tell your story. Guys, I I joined this company because, you know, you've heard me say this before, but I joined this company because of the potential of this community. And we are focused on unlocking that potential, because the success of this company will come when the world knows how great you are. And so we're going to continue to focus on that and make sure that that happens. So I hope you enjoyed the town hall. Thanks again for being a part of this community. I think Portia, I think the next person up is Ray, I think, to talk a little bit about some of his updates. So Ray, I'll pass it on to you.
All right, thank you, Doug. Yeah, welcome everyone. If we could go to the next slide, please. I've got my items here. Yeah, so wanted to talk about that transformation and that focus on a lot of the great feedback that we received from you in the community. We on the product team and just in general across the company, we're really focused in the near term here on prioritizing connecting you with the opportunities Topcoder has to offer. And so we really want to improve the way in which that connection happens. And here are a few of the upcoming changes that you can expect to see over the next few months. One is probably the most important of all of them is better profiles. So the profiles for everyone, all the members haven't gotten a lot of attention of late. And so we're working on reworking these so they really highlight what's most important, both for you to see your achievements, what you've done at Topcoder, the skills that you've proven that you have at Topcoder, which is a really important part of what we want Topcoder to be, a place for you to prove your capabilities. All of that so that when potential customers or opportunities such as competitions are available to give work to you or to give challenges, anything that you might want to be doing on the platform, we want to be able to connect you to those. So improving the profiles and the way the information is presented there in a modern way, that is one of our high priorities. Another one is enabling you to manage your profiles more easily, and also to help with encouraging you to fill out those profiles and us explaining why that's important to you. So it's really important that we have good data about you so that we can connect you in the best ways possible to the best opportunities. So streamlining the profile and account management is part of this. Public talent search. So we really want to bring the opportunities to you, and part of that is ensuring that the customers that are working with Topcoder and bringing the work can most easily connect with you and find you. So the improved profiles, we want to provide a powerful search that any customer can use, even if they have not yet even created an account or connected with Topcoder. We want them to be able to locate you and see what you have to offer, which will encourage more work and more opportunities for you. And then lastly, we're looking at the way in which skills and the roles that are highlighted on the profiles are managed and making that more granular, more in line with industry standards, and also more broad. Topcoder historically has done a great job of measuring development algorithm capabilities with the different the current ranking system, the numeric values, ELO, etc. We're looking to expand that and refine it so that it covers all of the different things you can be doing at Topcoder. So we want to elevate data science, QA, design, all of the different things that can happen on Topcoder. We want to elevate those to the same level that we rank and rate what you do in development currently. And we also want to provide a simplified way for customers and you as the members to be able to view what your capabilities are. So we want immediately, when a customer sees your profile, not to see a number necessarily, although that will still be available. We want them to be able to see right up front, this is what you're capable of in a simplified way. So this could involve things like placing labels, like you're an expert front-end developer, for example. And that's just another way of looking at the ratings, the numbers, but it'll help with that immediate trust and understanding from a customer's perspective of what you as a member are capable of, which will again remove friction and help with connecting you with opportunities more frequently and with the best opportunities. In addition to everything there, the new that we're working on, we're also working on continually improving and making sure that what we're hearing from you are the pain points, that those are getting addressed. So since we last met, since the beginning of May, we fixed 21 items. This is a mix of enhancement and fixes. Here's some highlights We now have gigs and challenges cross-linking. So if you go to the challenge feed or you go to the gigs page, you will see now that you can immediately jump back and forth between the two. And this is part of the effort of unifying the opportunities into one place so that you can see everything that's possible at Topcoder. And you don't have to know what the secret path is to get from one location to the other. It's right there in front of you. So we want all the opportunities to be quickly and easily available to you. We've updated Connect so that you can do file updates. The gig referral link wasn't working correctly, and now it is. So when you refer gigs, you'll get proper attribution. Fixed several other bugs. Discord verification was not working correctly. Western Union payment info wasn't entirely accurate. There was a terms and conditions 404, and we're also working on vulnerability fixes to make sure that there's trust both from the members, you as our community, as well as for the customers on the site. There are, this is only 7 of the highlights. There are 14 others, and this did come up when we met at the beginning of May. We are working on a release note publishing process, so you can expect to hear an announcement about that coming up soon. That's it for me.
Hello, everyone. It's William Morgenstern, Mo. I wanted to talk to you guys early on today about just a reminder and some perspective based on an issue we had last month. One of our customers, a big challenge proponent customer, was running a lot of work with us. And on one of those projects, totally by accident, a member accidentally exposed some information. They made a repo public that mentioned a customer's project. And as we looked into that, we realized a couple things that were worth level setting here, starting with making clear some of what's going on and some of the things that we need to keep in mind, particularly when we're working with challenges. And note, on this project, it was a public challenge. It was a public challenge. The customer knew it was a public challenge and was comfortable with unlocking all the potential of the community to do this work. And so, in a sense, the data that was shared was public. So you may rightfully wonder, well, what's the problem? And I think it's important to just highlight that from our customers' perspective, even when they're going and using challenges, which we all want and encourage, they still expect a level of professional privacy or discretion. And what that means, you can imagine if you're the customer, you're saying, yeah, go unlock your awesome community and run these challenges and get these things done. But don't broadcast it publicly, right? Don't put it in different channels, or don't open this information or these project details more broadly than they need to be. So that's really the theme that we wanted to spend a little bit of time emphasizing today. And there's some key points that I just want to use as reminders as you guys are going through and doing challenges, whether they're public or private. Remember that no matter what we're doing for customer work, there's always an expectation of professional privacy and discretion. And some of the best ways to make sure that we do a good job of that is never sharing any project data or challenge data publicly. Delete the project data when the project is over. And of course, sometimes, as you guys know, we have challenges or projects that happen over a series, or we'll have outputs from a challenge that need to be fed into a subsequent challenge. That will all still happen. But when it does, make sure that you always have written, confirmed approval from Topcoder, whether that's your PM or whoever you're working with at Topcoder, to make sure that you're handling that data in the best way to keep the challenge successful and the project moving, but also to be a good steward of customer project data. And importantly, where can I find this after I forget this speech or have my coffee? The Topcoder Code of Conduct, which is available online and it's referenced in the member terms and conditions, outlines this guidance specifically. So if you have any questions, please, by all means, brush up on the terms and conditions, brush up on the code of conduct, or email us at support, And we'll be happy to take any questions or make any clarifications or address any feedback on this topic. But it is really important to keep the wheels moving on challenges, which is a big focus for all of us right now. Thanks.
Hey, thanks.
Portia, maybe just one comment there, guys. I going back to, you know, my conversation around transformation, more focus on challenges. We're going to do everything we can internally to drive more challenges. This slide, you know, that Mo talked about here is really important, guys, because we need you to do your part too. One little mishap word can spread quickly, and then all of a sudden companies are like, challenges. I don't know about challenges. I don't really trust that idea. You know, that concept. And so we just need to make sure that we're all doing our part, both Topcoder and you as community members. So please do your best to take this seriously, because it is important for us. And when we want to grow the challenges, that you're doing your part as well as us doing our part. So that's my point there. Just take this really seriously, guys. I appreciate it. Portia.
Thanks, Doug. And so you heard at the beginning of our time together, Ray talking about some of the improvements that we've made to the member platform, and I'm really excited to share with you. And that feedback, those corrections were made based on your feedback, and I'm really excited to share with you what's ahead. Let's go ahead and go into the next slide, Aaron. Let me just go ahead and just start though answering a key question that I know is on top of everyone's mind, and which is around Topcoder Open, because many of you submitted questions in advance about that. And so let me just share with you what we plan to do. So those of you who competed in rounds that qualified for TCO 23, I think we shared in February that we will not be holding the event. However, if you won prize money as a result of competing in a round to qualify for TCO 23, we're going to make that commitment. We'll follow through with that commitment. If you won a trip as a result of competing in a round to qualify for TCO 23, we will not, because we're not having a live event, we are going to make a substitution with a monetary prize. You will hear more details on that. We will start notifying in writing those individuals who have won it beginning in June. So expect to hear more from us on the details of that. But I wanted to just go ahead and address that because it was a question that came in from multiple people. We know you love to compete. We know that you love to gather. And so in a moment, I'll just talk a little bit more about what we do want to do, because we do understand, and frankly, we all value the ability to get together in person and share and connect. Just a very quick reminder of how we got here. We started out and you all gave us so much feedback in terms of really trying to understand how do we help you have the best possible experience being a member of the Topcoder community. You have many, many choices. You told us that you have choices. And so we did a deep dive to understand everything from operations to the experience on the platform, to even, what are we doing well? What do we need to improve? We already talked about the survey. Over 1,000 of you gave us great feedback. We also did focus groups and one-on-one interviews. So we have a lot of really rich feedback from you. And I hope that you're starting to see we are acting on it. We are now acting on that to improve your experience and to improve our future as Topcoder. And so we now have learned a lot because you told us a lot about you and who you are and what your hopes and desires and what motivates you. And frankly, I was really inspired by that. I was inspired and excited by, there's so much richness and diversity in our member community. And so, and for those of you who came to our debrief a couple of weeks ago, and we'll invite you to take a look at that recording again, and we can even send that link out. We just learned so much. And so thank you again for that rich detail, because it allows us now, I think, to make some really good steps to you. And I know if Doug were sitting in front of me, he'd say, that's great, Portia, now what are we going to do with it, right? And so this is about the action. And so really where we're headed now is with the roadmap. Let's go to the next slide. And so, and this is not all the detail, but I want to highlight a few things that one, you said were really important, but also we know is important to our future as Topcoder. So one is we're going to be relaunching the brand ambassador program. I am personally super excited about that. As a marketer, there is nothing better than people who are passionate about what you do and about the organization. And so we know that community is really important, and not just community in the virtual space, community coming together in real life, wherever you are in the world. And so we are looking, so you will see details about that. But we also know that there's an opportunity to build affinity groups. Some of you are really interested in AI. Some of you are really passionate about data science. And so we want to be able to now begin to really articulate the communities that you have an interest in, and also that our customers want people just like you to help them solve their challenging problems. And then, of course, being a part of a member in a community like Topcoder should also be about helping you build your own personal brand as well as earn money. Most of you said, hey, listen, I want to earn money. I want to learn. I want to connect, but I really want to earn. And you know what? We do too. So we're committed to working through that. The MVP program, also we will be relaunching. And this is, we really hope that this is an opportunity. So many of you told us that you are working in companies where you'd like to refer business, and we've had we know we can do better and make it easier for you to refer but also to give us insight into new products. What should we be selling? What products should we be developing? And so there'll be opportunity there. In-person and online events. I know that for many of you, TCO was something you're incredibly passionate about. And one, I want you to know competitions are coming back. We actually have one coming up pretty soon, and you'll start to see us bring competitive programming back online a little bit at a time. And though we also know there's an opportunity for events in your local geography, but also forums and chats. We're going to be exploring co-working. As some of you are in places where maybe you're working at home. You may be working at home and you don't have the opportunity to connect with other members. I'm going to give Dara Kay a little bit of a shout out because she's been working with us as just an incredible community member. And on one of our meetings, she talked about how a few members, one I think would come from maybe Nigeria and a couple would come from other parts of Europe, all came and they and visited her. She's in Romania, and how fun and just inspiring it was to meet other members, particularly when you had only maybe talked to each other in Discord. And so getting together in person, is really important, and we're committed to finding ways to do that and competition. And then finally, member spotlights. So you heard Doug talk about the fact that we want to tell the Topcoder story. We have an incredible story, you all. I said the Southern y'all. Okay, so I forgive that American colloquial English there. We have an incredible story to tell. You have an incredible story to tell. There's so much talent to unlock across Topcoder. So a couple things. So you've probably seen the relaunch of our Thrive articles. This is a way to earn too, just so you know. And every Tuesday, be on the lookout for the bulletin, for the How to Earn bulletin, because you will see us adding more information in there about ways you can earn. Thrive articles are a way you can earn. And I will just tell you, they are incredibly powerful they get really broad readership. And they drive a lot of traffic to the platform. And so looking forward to seeing some of you participate. And we've improved the process so that if you do submit, you won't be waiting forever to hear back whether you've been selected, your article is being published. We are going to be tapping some of you for speaking opportunities. Social media, thanks to those of you, I am on social media. I interact with some of you. Hit me up. I'm on Instagram. I am on LinkedIn. I am on Twitter still. I don't know how long that's going to last, I have to tell you, but I know some of you are on Twitter and I get a chance to connect with you. So if you hang in there, I'll hang in there, and then we'll just have to see what happens on a week-to-week basis, because Twitter's a little crazy. But I want you to know that there's so many ways for us to connect. And also, you all have great personal stories. And so we are going to be tapping you to share your story with our community and with our broader audience. So lots on tap. We are working through, you will start to see work really pick up June and July. Doug has given me an unbelievable task of getting this stuff up and running this summer. And I'm actually really excited to do it because I know that this reflects so much of what you've asked for. And I hope that you find that the experience is great for you, that you're finding more opportunities to earn and also to connect and really be a part of our business, because we have such an incredible future ahead. Okay, I think we are ready for some questions. Yes? So I'm going to, so let's start with, we got a few online, and I'm going to start with a couple that we got online first, and we'll kind of go back and forth. And then I'm going to ask my leadership team colleagues to be ready. Are you ready? Are my leadership team colleagues ready to answer questions? Give me thumbs up. Give me thumbs up. Okay, awesome. Okay, so the first question is, can we have a separate opportunity section for non-technical crowd, such as data annotation, data entry? Is this available for members with limited technical knowledge? Ray, I'm going to start with you, and then Doug, I might ask you to add any other additional thoughts. Ray, you're on, my friend.
I think Ray had to step away for 1 minute to answer the door. So can we go right to Doug for this one?
Okay.
No, this is good feedback. I think what we're trying to, and Ray will be able to talk a little bit more about the roadmap and how we're thinking about the different personas of members that are part of our community and their needs and what they need to eventually earn. I think because ultimately at the end of the day, you're coming here to earn, but there's a community here and there's an ability to upskill, and we want to make sure we provide that upskilling. So I'd be interested to hear a little bit more about this. So if whoever submitted that question, if you have some specific examples, and then Ray and I can talk about it in our next product meeting and see where it makes sense and where it fits into prioritization, because we do want to make sure that we're helping all the community members get to a point where they can earn ultimately on the platform. So good question though. And guys, this goes for all product ideas. We love your ideas. And so keep bringing them up, keep sharing them with us, because what we'll do is we have product meetings on a regular basis. And so we have Ray, who's really focused on the member product side. And we specifically built this out where we have 2 product leaders, because we have a marketplace here. So we've got Noah on the other side, who's really focused on the customer product. And so Ray doesn't, he obviously interacts with Noah, but he's focused on making sure we have the right products for our members. So we want to hear your ideas and make sure that we're building them into our roadmap. So love to get a little more detail on what you're thinking here. And then Ray and I can talk about it in our next sync.
Okay, thank you, Doug. Welcome back, Ray. And it's right on time because the next question is going to be for you. Can Topcoder provide financial aid to members in buying specific courses or degrees from universities? And Ray, I wonder if you just talk a little bit about what's available through Topcoder Academy right now, which is live.
Yeah, so right now, Topcoder Academy offers 11 free courses with 2 free certifications. So everything's free. Regarding financial aid, it's something we've looked into. We've looked into general benefits packages, and it's something that we would like to build over time so that being a member of Topcoder gets you benefits such as financial aid, the ability to have reduced costs for courses, discounts for purchases, etc. The kinds of benefits you get when you're an employee of a company. We don't have a specific timeline for that. It's not something we currently offer, but I think this fits into the same thing Doug was just talking about, which is if these kinds of ideas, feed those, definitely, talk to the community team. They will collect these and make sure that they get into our, the product side as we're building and prioritizing what's being focused on, and we'll make sure these get the right consideration and we can figure out where they would fit in.
Yeah, that's it. Just one point I'd add there, and you may have heard us use this term in the past, is we ultimately want this to be your work home. And so when you think about if you're a full-time employee in a company, there's certain benefits that you get. And so we have some ideas on what we think those benefits that you would want. But I think it's important that we get your feedback. So to Ray's point, give us your feedback. I think what we'll probably end up doing, Portia, is we'll have some ideas, and we'll we'll upvote them and we'll get some, we'll gather additional feedback from the community and to help us decide on which ones to prioritize. So keep the ideas coming, guys.
Great. Thanks, Doug. Thanks. Sorry.
And the
Oh, go
right
ahead, Ray.
channel there is definitely reach out to the community team, whether it's on Discord, social media, whatever it is, get your ideas flowing in and we'll make sure we capture those and we decide, determine where those fit in for sure.
Okay, our next question, and I do, for those of you who are putting questions in the chat, I do see them, and I'll share those in just a moment. When are more bug hunt challenges coming? And I think I'm going to give that question over to Mo or Tony. Mo, I'm going to give it to you.
All right. Well, that's a good question. When are more bug hunt challenges coming? That's ultimately it's ultimately determined by what our customers are looking for. And Abbott, if you have some insight into what demand looks like for bug hunt, we can talk about that a little bit. And I'm happy to answer any other questions, but the crystal ball is notoriously fuzzy,
Can I jump in on this one here? I think
Please.
one of the, when we talk about challenges and I talk about the team internally, we don't go out to customers and say, hey, we have this challenge model of crowdsourcing. We can solve anything for you, because the companies are going to look at us like, all right, whatever. Right? Thanks. And so what we've been doing internally is really developing like products, ultimately, like ways in which to use the community and solutions that will resonate with certain industries. And one of them is bug hunts. It's a good way for us to get in the door, right? And so we're working on a bug hunt sort of product strategy to go into customers and get our foot in the door. Now, pretty simple. Everyone sort of understands how they work, but the crowd is perfect for bug hunts. It's great. There's a few other areas which I think that might be actually a good update for the next time around, is to talk through some of those products that we're going to market with and some of the feedback that we're getting. But no, it's a good question. You could probably ask this question about a lot of different domains, right? And that's what the team is doing. We're focusing on. What I did say in that, when I said that product transformation, when I talked earlier about it wasn't just like, hey, that product roadmap. Ultimately, using the crowd and creating a product to go to market is a product as well, right? So the crowdsourcing solution is that you could call that a product, but really, how do you form it into something that will resonate with a company? And so there's very specific data science type products. There's very specific, the bug hunt's one way to go. There's very specific design type products that we will go to market with. So it's a good question, guys. I think we should see more bug hunts coming in the future. We also have a product, an overall self-service tool that will engage the crowd, and that's coming up in the future that will also drive more bug hunts. So you'll hear more about that probably in upcoming town halls.
Yeah, Doug, actually, I was going to ask Ray to do a super fast commercial on the self-service bug hunt, because Ray, you've got some timing for us and then we can dive in more deeply next time we get together.
Yeah, so bug hunts in particular is the one type of challenge that we're building a streamlined interface to allow customers to come in, describe what it is they want to do, and launch the challenge without requiring connecting with Topcoder staff, sales, etc. So in the next few months, that will be coming out and it will be advertised on the homepage, something that customers will be driven directly to, and that should result in more bug hunts in particular. Doug was talking about other kinds of work. Longer term, we do plan to build other streamlined interfaces to let customers launch this in a self-service way. So over time, and provide your feedback, these kinds of features will enable more and more work to happen on the platform. But bug hunt's a great question, good timing, because that's the one that we're focused on right now.
Thanks so much, Ray. And then I'm going to take these next two questions. And then Doug, I might ask you to maybe add your thoughts on brand ambassadors and why you think they're so important. So the two questions I'm going to take together are relaunching community programs. Looks similar with the program that we have in the past with Jesse, who was with Topcoder. What is the difference of the new relaunch now? And then increase ways to earn an MVP program. What does this mean? Are you going to keep the current MVP or reset it? So let me just step back and say, so one is, we did have a brand ambassador program, and a number of you were really involved. I think one of the things that we learned was that one is we didn't have enough brand ambassadors. Two, we didn't give you the enough of the right tools to be successful. We have learned a lot over the last few months, both from your input into making sure that you have everything from how to talk about Topcoder, how to pull a local event together. And this is really about making sure that you have the right tools, but also that we have the ability to build community all around the world. We've talked about challenges. We've talked about the work, and you'll probably hear from my new colleague next time around sales of what we're trying to do to grow our presence around the world. And we want to make sure we have a vibrant community wherever we are in the world. And so you may see some similarities to the old ambassador program, but what I hope you will see going forward are some improvements. And that really has to do with like helping you, those of you who are ambassadors, and if you have an interest, please raise your hand and we may tap some of you as well, because we want to make sure we have ambassadors everywhere around the world, that we want to make sure that you're really prepared. Okay, on MVPs, again, we've had an MVP program, and by the way, thanks to those of you, again, who've done that. You've been incredible partners. You've also been mentors to new members. And so that is really important as well. And so the way we think about it is, again, improvements, making sure that you are, one, you've got the tools that you need to be, to make also the referral program. That's good. And I won't talk in detail about that today because we are still working through the details. That is it's a terrific opportunity, not just for Topcoder, but for you. And we want to make sure that that is very value added for you. And then also finding ways for those of you who are MVPs to have input in different parts of our business. And so what's probably will be a little bit different, and again, more details to come in at our next meeting, is we're going to reach out to more of you. What we learned from the community survey is we have an incredible, vibrant, highly diverse group of members, and we want to make sure that diversity is reflected in the input that we're getting. So that, I think, I'll leave it there for now, but I hope that you'll see, especially as we start to really roll these programs out in the summer, that they'll be fun, they'll be engaging, and of course, we're going to ask for your feedback along the way, and we know that you'll tell us when we need to improve. Doug, I wonder if you can just talk a little bit about your thoughts on like why brand ambassadors are important and MVPs.
Yeah. I mean, the ambassador program is near and dear to my heart. I don't think there's any better. There's no better group of individuals to grow our community than our community, right? Ultimately, we did launch this last year. We got it off the ground, but as I sort of mentioned earlier, and as part of this transformation, it wasn't at a point where it could scale ultimately. And I don't think we were learning as quickly as we needed to on what the right tools, resources, what the right events would be, how do we motivate the team? And so it was great. We got it started last year, and now we're going to scale it. And now we're going to turn it into a real program that actually scales and really helps to grow our community. And so I'm excited about this. In my mind, this is like one of the number one things that we need. I want the community to be excited to be a part of the community. I want member advocates out there talking about us, getting excited and teaching us. What are they hearing out there, right? What are they hearing in some of the different social channels that they're in, and how can we be better? There's no better people, again, than the community to tell us that. And so be on the lookout for the ambassador program. We're gonna try to scale that this year. And like Portia said, I'm pushing on it. This one's really important to me. I want to make sure we do this well and we get this right. So I'll leave it on that, guys. This is happy to talk more about this offline, but this one's near and dear to my heart.
We have another question here about why are there so many gigs in, I think they mean for India only.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'm not sure where that perception came, but I will say that we do not have biases, and we do not focus on we don't try to go focus on a particular area of the world to fill gigs. What happens sometimes, and I don't know what the situation is here, I'd have to understand a little bit more. What we're seeing here is sometimes there are customers regionally that'll say, hey, I need somebody in the Middle East. I need somebody in India. I need somebody in the United States. And so sometimes we do have to focus on a particular region. This has happened in Australia. Some countries actually require this too. And so that sometimes happens, but otherwise we generally, we open up our gigs to anyone in the world ultimately to solve them. That is the beauty of this model, right? And so whether that's the crowd model, the challenge model, or just opening up gigs, we know there's talent hidden in every part of the world and we have no biases. And so hopefully that answers the question. If there is more, you're seeing something, feel free to reach out offline. I'm happy to dig into this a little bit more if there's something else going on there.
Thanks so much, Doug. And the questions are coming in hot and heavy right now. So we'll take a few more, and please do not worry. If we don't take your question live, we will answer it in writing for you. Okay,
Hey,
so
sorry, Portia, Doug, I think it may be helpful to just add on to that question about India. I mean, as Doug mentioned, we don't have a bias, but freelance talent and staff aug is still relatively new in the industry. And we have to just remember that this industry has been built off of thinking in terms of two buckets, onshore or offshore, right? And offshore traditionally has meant India. So there is a bias or a familiarity with just thinking offshore means India. There's some legal restrictions and data restrictions that are in place that we have to navigate. But those of you who have been around for a while know that that's one of the things that we've aimed to tackle head on by making it clear to our customers that, hey, we understand that this is how you think about talent, but in terms of availability, skill, cost, communication, all those things that you actually care about, we're offering a different way. So a lot of the work that we're doing is also to help reduce that bias or what customers are used to doing and how customers are used to thinking about talent. And we've made some great progress there if you look at our actual gig fulfillment. But it's a journey, right? Because the industry spent the last 30 years just thinking in these more binary terms. But it is something we're aware of, and we're focusing on making that better through the initiatives you hear about, like better showing skills, better showing profiles, getting a better handle on security, location, and things like that. All these things are helping us reframe the way that talent is procured in the market. And that's something we take really seriously.
Thanks, Mo.
Thanks so much, Mo. I think that's a really good ad. And I want to make sure that my colleague, KK Bata in the Midwest, is awake and ready for this question. KK, and then we might send it over to maybe Tony afterwards. The question is, what are we doing to make the Topcoder platform more stable and robust? So KK, invite you to start, and then I'll invite maybe Tony or Ray or Doug to chip in afterwards.
Yeah, I'll take a slightly technical approach to answer this. So,
Not too technical.
like you guys, so, yeah, like you guys know, I mean, the platform is built over a long period of time, about close to 15 years, and we have never revisited and re-architected anything in the backend. So, first and foremost, we are actually fixing the consistency problems across multiple products, which actually evolved from what we built over a period of time, right? So what we're addressing right now is the biggest thing is the data consistency. So wherever you are, you actually see if a challenge is set to be in a specific phase, or it's completing, or it's paid for, you see the same consistent data. So you don't need to go into two different places and realize, oh, in one place I see it is paid for, and other place it's still not closed yet. So all the platform inconsistencies are being fixed as we speak. And also some of the product enhancements that product team is driving are also making sure, with the unified platform experience and unified navigations and all that Ray has pointed out, kind of are bringing in the disjoint experience into one, continuous persona flows. So yeah, these are the things we are working on right now. And I think you're already seeing the results on the site as we speak.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Yeah, Doug, please.
I think at a high level, KK's team is heads down, working on this on a regular basis. This data access layer that they've put in place has been game changing for us guys. And so this is one of our larger team. This is our largest team on building in the back end, ensuring that we have a robust platform that can scale, because we know where we're going over the next 3 to 5 years, and all the things I'm talking about, transformation. I didn't say platform, but platform plays a major part in that transformation. And KK's got a long list of things that he needs to improve. So we got a lot of work ahead in the platform.
Doug, and I think I'm going to bundle these 2 questions for you since I have you here. And the first question is, we've lost a lot of members in the last few years. How are we going to bring them back? But I want to pair that with a second question, because I think it's connected, which is, what are we doing to compete with other similar platforms like Kaggle? So wonder if you could talk about just bringing back members, as well as, this mentions Kaggle, but, what are we doing to compete with other similar platforms? Love your thoughts here.
Yeah, I don't typically like to think about competitors. I want to think about what we can do for our community members and our customers. And then I think the how we compete with our customers will follow. When I think about our lost members, it is unfortunate, but I understand. Our challenge models slowed down. We've been doing a lot of tasks. Now our business has grown, which is good for us, but it's around tasks. And I think I even saw somebody also ask a question about challenges. Challenge has been slowing down recently. Is that economic, or is that some other factors involved? I'd say a little bit of everything, guys. Companies understand staff augmentation. We created a model where we have gig placement, staff augmentation. We call it tasks, and we're good at it. And so we started doing, and so companies, we got a lot of customers that way. The thing we're missing, though, is we have to start to involve them in challenges, because that's the differentiator for us. And that's how we're going to help them innovate and grow, help them become better companies. That's how we're going to engage those members to come back to us. Because I can't tell you right now that we can put out a bunch of programs that'll you might be engaged from Thrive articles, some internal fun things to do. But at the end of the day, you guys want work. Let's not kid ourselves here. You guys want work and you want to be challenged, right? And so we want to make sure that we bring more challenges back. And so that's going to be it, guys. And so the people that left, as we start to get more challenges, sure, we're going to knock on their door and say, hey, we've got some challenges over here, and we'll leave it up to them to decide if they want to come back and they see the value in coming back to Topcoder. Because I know you have choices. I'm not kidding myself when I think that we're going to be the only platform that you look at. And I know you're going to look at other platforms, but we want to make sure that we're one of those, maybe one of the 2, one of the 3 that you're looking at, and that you're coming to us for not just gigs. Eventually you're upskilling, you're learning, you're connecting, part of the community. And so we're going to do our best to win those members back, and we're going to do our best to win new members too, right? And so our community continues to grow. We're growing. I think it's like 10,000 members every month. And so we continue to grow. We're bringing on a lot of new members every month, but my hope is that they do come back when they see the great work that we're going to do over the next year, and they see the value in Topcoder again.
Okay, thank you so much, Doug. Let's take one more question. And again, if your question has not been answered, we will answer it for you in writing. So keep it coming if you still have a question you'd like to ask. I'm going to give this one to you, Mo. I want to qualify for a gig, but does it require at least 10 challenges as eligible criteria? So Mo, I wonder if you could talk about what is the criteria for being selected for a challenge?
Yeah, what was the last part of that question? Is there an assumption that you have to have 10 challenges?
Yeah, so the specific question is, I want to qualify for a gig, but does it require at least 10 challenges as eligible criteria? So I think this is about clarifying what.
Yeah, the short answer is no, it does not require 10 challenges to be eligible for a gig. So if you feel like it's a good fit, put your profile together and submit it.
Yeah, Mo, is that a prior rule or something? Is that why maybe there's a misconception out there? No.
I don't think it was a prior rule. I think we can all imagine a world where people who have outstanding track records and challenges is very compelling. But the reality is personas and things that we've talked about today and will continue to talk about, not everybody who participates actively in challenges is interested in a gig, and vice versa. There's a great opportunity there to better measure your skills and abilities to set you apart in the market for gigs in the same way that we do for challenges, but it's not currently a requirement.
Yeah, and Ray also talked early on about the profiles, ensuring that you guys have updated profiles and we're capturing all your information. And like Mo said, just submit your profile, your resume, and no, there's no biases on that, whether or not you've done any challenges. So good question overall.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. So we're going to close the Q&A part of this conversation. Please keep putting your questions in the chat. We will answer them in writing for you. And now we're going to change gears a little bit and switch over to a little bit of shout outs and fun stuff. So Becky, I'm going to hand it over to you.
And I have to just say thanks to Portia, because I get to deliver the best news. We saved some of the best information for last. So Portia did me, she did me a solid. I have the best part of today. So I'm very happy to be here. I'm Becky from the community team. I hope you've seen me around on Discord and the forums. And we're going to start off today with some member shout outs. So a lot of you have seen, I hope, and participated. I've seen a lot of members that I recognize in our competitive programming. It came back in May. We're so happy to have our CP events back. So we launched in May, Puzzle Challenge 8. We had an unrated RDM last week. We have RDM 12 in 2 days on Friday. So it is up for registration. So make sure you go and register on our challenge page. We just ended Marathon Match 145, results coming soon. So those winners will be announced shortly. But we also have winners from our SRM that was just on Monday. So we've been excited to have you back in the arena on our competitive programming. And if you're wondering how you can compete or what's next for June, if you go to our events tab on our community homepage, all of our events are listed there. We'll continue to add to that list, not just CP, but also events like this town hall. So make sure you're always on that events page, checking out what's next. We're good about sending emails as well. So we're happy to have it back. All right, if you want to go to the next slide, you might have also seen my name in, oh, go back one, please. We're just going to recap the member ways to earn. Portia mentioned this already as well. You might see my name in your inbox every week. We love sending out this weekly bulletin. It's a great resource of just some of the best top ways you can earn on our platform week to week. So it will give a highlight of some of our top gigs, challenges that we have. We're also doing Thrive a little differently. We're seeking out individual topics. So those will be in our member ways to earn as well. The part I like the most is a lot of you have been responding to this email. I do get those responses. So always feel free to reach out anytime. If you have questions, feedback, that's why we're here. But we're just hoping that this will be a way for members to learn all the different ways they can participate on our platform with us.
Hey, Becky, maybe one I'd add in there is referrals. And so,
yes,
guys, we have a great referral program. We're looking to make it even more robust. But we're placing gigs all the time on. You'll see some of the for the task gigs. We need referrals sometimes, guys. And if you have great connections in your network, refer them. We want them, and you can make some money doing that. So please take a look at that and join that referral program.
Yes, thank you, Doug, because that is important. And that is also on the bottom of our member ways to earn bulletin every week. So make sure you click that link. If you have questions, again, reach out to us. We're happy to go over the referral program. All right. And then our last thing, some of the questions that we had in advance this week. So I'm happy to say we have an answer. We got questions about when is our next data science challenge. We have a big one. I just checked the stats too. We have over 180 registrants already, and this only launched a couple days ago. There's already submissions. So a lot of you members work fast, much faster than I ever could. This is a Helios pump failure detection data science marathon match. So that is a mouthful, but it is a big challenge for us. You can see it has $20,000 in prizes, which is awesome. So maybe you'll be the one to accurately predict the failure probability of pumps. I know that won't be me. I won't come in first in this challenge, but I saw a lot of familiar members in this. So make sure you go and register. This is also running for quite a while. It goes until June 19th. So there's plenty of time to register. And before I hand it back to Portia to wrap up, I had a little inside information I was allowed to share today for this, which is, this is not the first challenge that's going to come from Helios. This is actually the first in a series. So we're going to have some more challenges based on this data set, but also to solve some other problems for this company. So we're excited that this will be an ongoing a challenge for you all, that will have a really eventful series to keep having data science, keep having challenges. So make sure you're always checking that challenge page for new challenges that we post. So I just want to thank Sanjay at Topcoder for giving me that little sneak peek I could share today. And back to you, Portia.
Becky, that is indeed great news. And actually, I just want to say thank you. And I'm going to hand it off to Doug for you to have the last word, and we will, see you next time. So Doug, any last words you'd like to have?
Yeah, guys, I appreciate the questions. I've told you from the beginning, I want to be as transparent as possible here. So keep the questions coming, even outside of these town halls. Shoot them to us. We want to make sure we're answering and you understand where we're going and what we're doing. I appreciate you guys attending this, and thank you again for being a part of our community. Enjoy the rest of your week.